Going into my senior year of high school, I was a member of the National Honor Society. Before that final year of school, there was an administration change, as our faculty sponsor was replaced by another. Overnight, the rules that govern the Honor Society were looked at and applied a little bit differently than they had been before. They were then applied retroactively, and all of a sudden I found myself on a list of students, 25 to 30 students long, that were in jeopardy of graduating without being members of the National Honor Society. No, it wasn't that our grades didn't fit into the new guidelines. It wasn't that we had been behaving any differently. But all of a sudden, because of one little change, we no longer belonged. And we no longer had time to do what it takes to act and respond in order to stay. I remember walking into the administrator's office that day. My name listed on a sheet of paper with 25 others. I remember signing it where it said, "I acknowledge that I am no longer a member of the National Honor Society. And upon graduation, I will not carry the cords and be recognized with this honor." You see, so much of our high school culture is built around joining teams and being in groups that we have to try out for, that we have to hold grades for. But the unfortunate truth is, at some point or another, we'll no longer belong to these groups. At its best, it's because we've aged out or we've graduated. But at its worst, it can be because we've gotten hurt and we can no longer participate. Or we've failed a class and we no longer make the grades, or somebody younger or newer to the school has come along and they're just better than we are at what we do. And this is so broad of our cultural experience, but we have to ask ourselves, how much of this can we be blamed for? I mean, we are wired to belong. Belongingness is an emotional need that we have and that we seek. Yet at times the way that we seek it out can be wrapped up more in what we do and less of who we are. That's where the good news of the community of the church comes in. In the body of Christ, you belong, we belong. Regardless of success or failure, regardless of age, race, gender, orientation, we belong. We belong to the body of Christ, and we belong to one another. And one of my favorite things about the God that we serve and the God that we love is that there is always enough space and enough grace for us. In the family of God and in the best expression of church, our position in the community is never determined by what we do or what we accomplish. No, our position in the community is determined by our presence. Just by being, we belong. As a human being that is a mind, a body, and a soul, we all have this innate longing to be. And we may belong to one another in unity and peace. But we also just belong. As you reflect on these thoughts this week, I want you to ask yourself, where do you belong? If you feel like you can answer that question, I encourage you to give gratitude, to give thanksgiving. If you're still looking for community, if you are still trying to find a place where you can say you belong, I want you to continue to sit with that feeling. And I wonder if you can identify where that yearning is inside of you and listen for where it might be telling you to go, where it might be pulling you.